Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy and I am the founder of The Legal Path, which is a platform that I've created to try and help aspiring solicitors navigate themselves through the legal profession. So I'm going to be here to answer all your questions and I'm going to try to be a bit more consistent and do a weekly video for you guys. But this channel is going to take a little bit of a turn because I am going to predominantly be focusing on the legal stuff that I do, but actually I'm going to also try and integrate some of the fitness stuff that I do because that's a big part of my life. And I think actually fitness has a really great impact into your mental well-being. And I know a lot of aspiring solicitors, as they go through this process, do struggle with their mental well-being as well. So I think it will have a twofold benefit. So in today's video, we're going to be focusing on demystifying those misconceptions that you have as an aspiring solicitor. Now, I was only an aspiring solicitor last year, so I know exactly what we're talking about today. I myself had those misconceptions, and as I've progressed into the profession, some of those have been very much clarified for me. So the first misconception that we're going to discuss today is I have to study law or a law degree in order to qualify as a solicitor in England and Wales. Now, this is probably one of the most incorrect and false statements I've ever said, and hopefully once we go into this, you'll understand exactly why. Well, the first reason that this is a misconception, and a common one in that, is because there's actually multiple avenues in which to progress into the legal profession. The most common route, which you're probably very much aware of, is by studying a law degree, an LLB law degree, either 3 or 4 years if you're an international student, and then following completion of the degree, going on to doing your LPC. Now, if you're lucky enough to secure a training contract with a firm prior to starting your LPC, you will actually get that LPC funded for you. But unfortunately, if you're like me and you have not successfully secured your training contract prior to commencing the LPC, then you will need to fund that yourself. Now, that can be done through a master's where you get funding from student finance, or you can self-fund it yourself, which would probably require you to work alongside it, which is what I did, and that can have an impact on your studies as it is a full-time course. So do recommend looking into that with a bit more detail, and if you can secure your training contract whilst it is extremely competitive, then I would highly recommend you doing that before you commence your LPC. The next avenue that you have to progress into the legal profession is actually studying any degree, usually a qualifying degree, and then going on to do what's called the graduate diploma in law. Now, what this allows you to do is it basically brings you up to speed to where anybody who has studied the LLB 3-year law degree is at. So you can do any degree of your choice. So if you have a particular passion, whether it's history, English, whatever, you can go and do that degree, and then after that do a 1-year course in which then brings you in line with those that have studied the 3-year degree. So it pretty much allows you to have that flexibility to choose what you want without having to fully go in with the law degree if that's not something that you want to do at this time. The next avenue that we're going to discuss is where you do an apprenticeship. Now, I think this is a fantastic route. It's not something when I was going through this process that was kind of advocated a lot about, so it's something I am really passionate about getting out there. Now, this is basically where you train with a firm from day one. So they offer you the opportunity to be an apprentice with the firm, and you do 5 to 7 years with the firm where you are then going through your training contract at the same time as doing your kind of degrees or your qualifications. Now, the good thing about this route is it gives you that flexibility in terms of payment, because a lot of the payments are covered by the firm of your choice, so you do not have to pay your degree fees, which, as we all know, is not cheap. The second thing is that you've got the guarantee of the job at the end, and that's something we're going to come on to later on in this video, but it's something that's really important for aspiring solicitors today, to find somewhere that they will have greater job security, because it's not something that's guaranteed when you do a degree. And obviously that also brings into mind that you are then working and earning while simultaneously studying, so that again is something to bear in mind. The next route that we're going to discuss is the super qualifying exam route. Now, what this allows you to do is it allows you to gain 2 years of qualifying experience alongside 2 separate exams, and you can then qualify as a solicitor in England and Wales. Now, the SQE is very much a buzzword at the minute, as it's quite a new route that's been introduced. Now, with this route, what it allows you to do is it gives you that ability to qualify without securing a training contract. And those that watch this will probably be very aware that the training contract route is probably one of the most competitive routes you'll ever face. And the chances of you gaining a training contract are pretty slim. So with this new route, it allows for greater diversity and inclusivity within the legal profession. It allows people that have clearly got the skills because they're working within the profession to qualify without having to be subjected to a training contract. contract route. And obviously it just allows for greater freedom within the profession and more qualification. So I see this as being quite a common route coming forward. A lot of people are discussing that now as being the route that they want to take, and I cannot wait to see how this turns out in the future. Obviously there are many more routes we could discuss today, but this video would never end, so we'll leave them. But the point of it is that it's very much a misconception that you must study a law degree in which to qualify, and it's not at all the truth. So do bear that in mind when considering law as a route for you. The next misconception that we're going to discuss is that as a law student you'll spend all of your time in the library. This can be something that can stop a person doing a degree. And yes, I did hear a lot before completing my degree that you'll never have time to have fun, you always have your head in a book. And yes, there is an element of the degree that is quite complicated and is hard work, and there is a lot of work, but you still get to have some fun, and you definitely don't spend all of your time in a library. You probably have around 8 hours a week of lectures and 4 seminars a week for the particular modules you've chosen, and then within that space of time you then get to do all your work. So I pretty much did all my work throughout the day, and then from 7 o'clock onwards that was my time to relax and kind of recoup, ready for the next day. So it's definitely a misconception. You will not spend all of your time in the library unless you avoid going to your lectures and doing any work and then cram closer to the time, then you probably will. Another misconception that we're going to discuss is this idea that first year doesn't count. Now this is something that's kind of very much universal across the entirety of university life, and actually this is not the case with law students, because all of your degree levels do count. So I've applied to firms and they request GCSE results, A-level results, first, second and third year results, and any sort of masters or LPC GDL results that you may have. So yes, first year unfortunately does count, which means you need to apply yourself from day one. Obviously if you've not got the grade that you wanted in first year, don't think that this stops you from progressing into vacation scheme and training contract applications. You have plenty of time to turn it around. So do enjoy yourself, do enjoy first year. It's really important for your development skills and being able to kind of live away from home. It's such a huge experience, but it does count. So do try and apply yourself as soon as you can from the minute you start, and try and make sure that you maintain a consistently good level throughout all of your degree stages. Final misconception that I'm going to touch on is a little bit more of a sad misconception unfortunately, and this is that you are guaranteed a job at the end of doing your law degree, and a job specifically within law. Yes, unfortunately you are entering one of the most highly competitive industries that you could possibly enter, and therefore there is no guarantee whatsoever that you will secure a job in the legal profession after securing and completing your degree. Whilst a law degree is a fantastic degree to have, it's completely versatile, it's highly respected amongst a number of professions, it showcases a wide range of skills including communicative, organisation, time management, the ability to work under time pressured conditions, being able to have attention to detail, all these things which are fantastic skills to have for any role. They are not a guarantee that you will secure a job within the legal profession. You have to make sure you persistently apply to the firms that you really want to work for, you attend events, you get yourself out there, and you really go in completely open-eyed that it may not go as smoothly as you thought, but don't let that put you off, because it's definitely worth it when you get there in the end. And some people after studying a law degree think that this is not the right career for them, but what the law degree does do is it opens up a lot of opportunities to you. As I said, it's a fantastic degree to have, it's really highly respected, so it's definitely one to consider if you want to develop a range of skills and have a lot of doors open to you. So from this video, hopefully we've been able to demystify some of those misconceptions that you have as an aspiring solicitor. Obviously there are plenty more misconceptions that we could discuss, but this video would never end. So we'll leave it there today. If you've enjoyed this video, please comment below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.